What's up, YouTube? You're Inside the Edge, and I'm back with another video. Thank you guys for tuning in. Today I want to talk about Jonathan Isaac. I want to talk about the Orlando Magics. But before we start the video, I just want to say, thanks for all the support so far on this channel. I'm going to continue to grow, give you guys content, give you guys stories, talk about players that no one is talking about. And today I'm going to be talking about Jonathan Isaac. This is a guy that missed 2 full seasons in the NBA. He's pretty much played 45 games within the past 2 seasons. He's been plagued with injuries, and it all started at the 2020 bubble when he tore his ACL, and it just seems like he's been haunted with injuries ever since. Within the past 2 years, he dealt with a hamstring injury. He dealt with a rotator cuff injury in his shoulder that pretty much sidelined him last year. So the biggest question is, what will Orlando do with Jonathan Isaac? Now, he is under contract with Orlando for the 2023 season for $17 million, and then for the 2024-2025 season, he's due $17 million as well. So it's looking like Orlando can either trade Jonathan to save some cap space, or they can waive him. But from my understanding, I think Orlando's going to do what they can to trade for Jonathan Isaac, because I do think he is valuable, and I think there is teams that will bait, to trade to get Jonathan Isaac. Even though, he's dealt with many injuries, because he's 25 years of age, I do think that he can, get back to, as far as rehab, and I do think he can get himself back to NBA shape and get back to that same NBA level player. Now, he may not have the same explosiveness, I would say, or maybe the same lateral quickness that he used to have, but I still think that Jonathan Isaac can be a key player for many teams, especially a championship contending team, because of his defense, because, what he can do on the floor as far as disrupting passes, being able to create fast breaks for others off of steals. He's that kind of impactful player. And, coming into the league, many of us thought that he would be a defensive player, a future, first team all defensive player. And I still think that that can happen for him. I mean, if he puts in the work in rehab, I do think that he can contribute to a team as far as the defensive end. I still think that he's working on his offensive mechanics. Jonathan, he's not much of a three-point shooter or a mid-range shooter. He still has to work on his post game. He still has a lot to develop. So I think that's something that a lot of people are questioning as far as his offensive talent. But overall, I think he's going to be a solid player for wherever team he goes to next season. So like I mentioned, with Orlando, he's due $17 million this year. He's due $17 million next year. And I think it will be smart for Orlando to pretty much trade Jonathan and get an asset, get a draft pick or something, or get another player. But I do think that Orlando will trade Jonathan Isaac this offseason before they consider even waiving him, just because I do think he's valuable enough where Orlando can get something back. But I definitely think Orlando don't want to play the waiting game. They know he's going to work hard to get back on the court, but that could be till mid next season, and I think that's just too much time away from the game for Orlando to consider keeping him moving forward. Orlando has made a lot of transitions, a lot of good moves, a lot of good draft picks. As of right now, Pablo Banchero is pretty much the star of Orlando. I mean, at one point it was Jonathan Isaac. He was going to be the face of the Magics, but it looks like, Banchero is pretty much going to be that. So with that being said, guys, I mean, for Orlando Magic fans, I want to hear what you guys think about Jonathan Isaac and how you guys feel about just his career and what he's done in Orlando. I mean, when you really look at the story, I mean, this guy pretty much been rehabbing the past 2 seasons. I mean, he's only played 45 games in 2 years. And I think that's going to be something that a lot of executives and other teams are going to be looking at. But I do think, him being 25 years of age, I do think he can overcome this injury that he's dealing with. And I believe he will be back on the court come next season. So with that being said, guys, I don't want to make this video too long, but I definitely want to hear what you guys think about Jonathan Isaac. It just seems like he is under the radar, but this guy was going to be one of the best defensive players in the league. And it still seems like he can possibly be that if he's in the right situation on another team, depending on the role he's playing. So with that being said, guys, be sure to subscribe, drop a like, drop a comment, and I'll see you guys in my next video. I hope everyone's having a good day, and have a good one, guys. God bless.